Hello, and welcome back to J1 Visa Consulting, your resource guide for all things J1 Visa related. Now, for those of you who are new to my channel, my name is Avery, and I am an immigration specialist with over 8 years of experience in J1 Visa programming and cultural exchange programs. Now, if you are watching this video looking to apply for another U.S. visa, please feel free to keep watching, as many of these will be applicable to you as well. So in this interview, I will be going over 10 visa interview tips. So let's go ahead and begin. So tip number 1, remember that the J1 visa is a non-immigrant visa. This means that you should not have any immigrant intent and you should be able to demonstrate your home ties. Now, immigrant intent is where you are intending to emigrate and live in the United States, either on a permanent basis forever. So this visa is not for that, it's temporary. Each J1 visa category does have a maximum duration of stay. So how can you prove your home ties? If you are a student, you can show that you are currently enrolled in school and that you're only doing a program for a year or 2 and you have to return to your school. If you are married and your family is staying behind, that would be great evidence of home ties. Additionally, if you own or rent any property that you plan on returning to, that would be great evidence of home ties as well. So next we have tip number 2, practice your English. So the visa interview will be in English. So if your English is not at 100% fluency yet, practice the things that you will be saying. For example, talking about your educational background, where you went to school, what you're currently studying, what you studied in the past, or your professional background if you're already a professional in your field. So be prepared to talk about these things and you can practice these things in English. Next, tip number 3. Make sure to have all of your documents, the necessary documents, in original form. So if you are missing even one, your application might be denied or your appointment might be canceled and you will be told to reschedule your appointment. So if you are applying for a J1 visa, some of the documents that you will need are the DS-160 form or the completion of the DS-160. The DS-2019 form, DS-7002 form, all of these must be in original form and not a copy. Additionally, you will probably need your proof of funds, your actual job offer, your resume or your CV, and more as well. Next, we have tip number 4. So be prepared to discuss in detail what you're coming to the US to do or to learn. If you will be researching in a lab, prepare to explain your project. How does it correlate with what you are studying? How does it correlate with what you are learning? Now, if you will be an intern at a tech company, for example, make sure to explain how your internship will help your future career goals. Next, we have tip number 5. So be positive. Make sure to start your interview with a smile as you greet the consular officer. If you are denied or put into administrative processing, continue to be positive and ask what additional documentation you provide. Even if your visa is denied or if you get a negative outcome, still be positive. All of this is part of the application process, and there's no reason to be negative when you are currently attending your visa interview. Next, tip number 6. So know your dependent plan. So if you are bringing dependents with you, make sure to entail how you will provide for the entire family. So dependents are a spouse, a husband or a wife, or unmarried children under the age of 21. So you will not be able to bring your parents as a dependent or any other family member or friend as a dependent. Additionally, girlfriends and boyfriends do not apply. So if your family is remaining home, make sure to entail how they will support themselves in your absence. If you are bringing your family with you, you will need to make sure that you have the proper funds to support not only yourself, but your entire family. If your spouse plans on working, you should be able to entail that as well. Remember, J2 spouses are eligible to obtain work authorization through an EAD card, but that application does take several months to process. Next, we have tip number 7. So dress the part. So you should dress for the interview as if you're going to work. So you should have nice attire, free of stains and wrinkles. You should not be wearing any lounge clothes or sweatpants or t-shirts. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that you have to show up in a suit and a tie or a tuxedo, but you should definitely not look as if you are going to the beach. You should be looking professional, as this is a professional interview. Next, we have tip number 8, be concise. So the visa interview isn't very long, and most consular officers are very busy with a lot of interviews scheduled for just one day. So make sure to give clear and concise answers that specifically answer the question that you're asked. So if they ask you for one question, you don't need to give the consular officer your entire life story. You can just answer the question and then they will proceed with the next one. Next, we have tip number 9. So don't bring your friends or family. I know attending the interview might be a little scary, might make you a little bit nervous, but you will not be able to bring them with you to the actual interview. So unless they are your J2 dependents, they should stay home and you can tell them all about the interview once you have arrived home. And now we are at our final tip, tip number 10. Make sure to look up the specific requirements for the U.S. consulate that you will be applying to. So each office is different, and some offices restrict larger bags or require you to arrive at least 60 or maybe 90 minutes before the interview to go through security. So make sure to look these things up as you'll have to be prepared for everything, and you want to make sure that you don't miss your interview slot. So that's all that I have for today. I hope that you did find this video helpful. If you did, please go ahead and give it a like, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel to stay up to date and in the know for all things J1 visa. So until next time.